Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Evil 8 All-Stars Weekend. My name's Action Jackson, here with Fuginist. Off to a great start.
Yeah.
That's
We
the
made
combo
it.
name. The
We did it.
Fuginist.
We
Fugi
finally
and
made it.
Humanist is what I was going for. We've got some fun
Synergy.
games coming up for you today with the All-Stars matches. If you remember it last time around, we had some cross-region play, which is especially interesting right now, right? Because we get to see some of the cross-region play before Worlds, which is coming up soon, which is going to be the real pinnacle of the cross-region play. So
Yeah, we
be
get
cool.
a little taste of that goodness, and I think it's going to be pretty spicy here today. I'd like to see what happens.
Spicy day indeed.
All right, so speaking of Worlds, guys, it's coming up in not that long. Between December 2nd and 4th at the TCL Chinese Theater in Hollywood, California, we've got our first Vainglory World Championship. It's going to be amazing. You do not want to miss it. You can still get tickets at vaingloryesports.com to attend in person. If you can't make it, you can always head on over to this Twitch channel, twitch.tv/vainglory, to catch it online. The schedule is going to be pretty interesting, too. We've got a nice format for the World Championships. Day 1 is going to be a group stage. We've got 4 groups of 3 teams. The top 2 teams from each group advances. And they're actually doing best-of-2 round robins to get points to actually advance forwards. Day 2, we're starting to get into the brackets, right? This is where the teams have weeded out the bottom 4 and are moving forwards. And then Day 3, we've got grand finals going to be a best-of-7. These teams are really going to need to bring their A-game, practice their endurance heading into Worlds.
Yeah, I mean, well, day 3 alone, I mean, you have a semifinal match that you have to win, could go all the way to 5, and you have a best-of-7. Like, that's a lot of potential games you could play.
It is a lot of potential games, but, I mean, these guys know it in advance, so this is one of the things they should be practicing. And I think it's something also fans don't really take into account. Like, you just, every time, like, a fan, you kind of mentally reset, like, every game, but a player, it drags on, and you got to let go of a bad game and look to move forward and build off of momentum.
Absolutely. And talking about the players, we're going to have a lot of great players and teams at the World Championships. Let's have a look at the teams in the groups. Got Group A with Team Secret, Vivian, and Phoenix Armada. Group B with Gangstar, Cerberus, Team Solomid, and Hack. Group C has Snow Avalanche, Gangstar, Sirius, and Infamous Legion. And then Group D, we've got Hammers, Velocity, Red Canids, and Hunters.
Are you excited about this?
So ridiculously excited. Just start the games. Can we just start the game?
Can we just start the games? I mean, it's finally here, right? Like, one complete official year of competitive Vainglory in the books, and we get to wrap it all up with Worlds. The fact that we're here so quick as well is just, it's a really humbling thing that all of these communities, all these players, everyone kind of comes together to celebrate and to have the best competition all on one stage.
Yeah.
It's going to be fire.
It really is. And honestly, we get to hear about like the NA versus EU debate all the time. But this is bringing the whole world into play. And I'm excited to see, you know, the fans coming over from Asia, the fans from South America representing in Twitch chat. And we don't know what's going to happen. So honestly, any of these teams could come in and just be legends.
There is one thing we do know, though, and that there's a lot of prize money on the line for the World Championships. Let's actually bring up those numbers right now so you can see just how much the players are playing for here at the World Championships. Oh, it'll be back. There we go. $175,000+ for the entire season. 120 of that is at Worlds. So that's definitely the lion's share. This is the event you need to win to get that big ticket payout.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of money to go home with, all right, but even maybe more than the money is the pride of knowing you've taken home the first World Championship for Vainglory, for your region, for your team.
You rethinking things sitting up here at the analyst desk? Now you're seeing these numbers, you're like, We're going to see next season Fuji right back in the action.
To slide right back into the competitive, chasing the dollar signs. But yeah, I mean, it's great for this amount of money to be able to go out to some of these teams that have been working hard all year, spending the time and their own personal money to train, to get prepared for this. So a little return on that investment, I'm sure, is going to go a long way.
It really will go a long way. And not only that, to get mom off your back, too. Like, look how money I'm
Just like have the check, you
like,
just walk in.
Stop
for dinner.
calling me when I'm playing Vainglory.
Hey.
All right.
All right, well, let's refocus now on today. We've got the All-Stars matches coming up. We've got games today and tomorrow, so let's bring up the schedule for day 1. We've got an all-stealth draft. What this means is that, well, it's not really a draft. Both teams have to pick the same composition of Flicker, Taka, and Kestrel. So every player has stealth on their team. That's game 1. Game 2 is going to be a reverse draft, where you actually pick your opponent's heroes.
Nice.
And our first series is going to be between Beyond Horizon and Snow Avalanche. Then we've got 6 games total of cross-region games. So we're going to have 6 teams with mixed EU-NA players.
Nice, nice.
We're going to be swapping between series to Europe and North American servers just to keep things fair. And then our final game is going to be between Vertigo Black and Phoenix Rain. It's going to be the same format as Beyond Horizon and Avalanche. We've got the stealth game and the reverse draft.
That sounds like a good time. All stealth.
I mean, if I loaded into an all-stealth game, I basically take the negative karma off that one. Just out of there. No, honestly, it'll be a really entertaining game to watch here.
Yeah, I do agree.
And we do have more games coming up tomorrow as well, guys. Day 2, we've got some new teams as well playing. We got SK Gaming, Mouse Sports. They're going to be doing the stealth reverse draft thing. Then we got Kinetic and Fate later on, also doing the stealth draft and reverse draft. And I'm looking over at the other screen. It looks like we might actually be onto the fold and ready for Game 1 here. Hopefully I'll get an update from behind the scenes. All right, we are ready for Game 1. This is Beyond Horizon and Fate Zero, was it? I can't recall. Oh, and Snow Avalanche. Right, okay. Let's head on to the Halcyon Fold. We've got 2 great shoutcasters for you, Sona and Jingyi.
Thank you very much, you guys, on the analyst desk. I am Sona. I'm joined by Jinyi, and this is going to be an entertaining game, to say the least.
Yes, looks like everybody's already kicking off, and
Yeah, Bastion needs to get away from I'm the Doom, but tries to get that flicker out. I'm the Doom might be the first to fall, gets taken out by Voldemar. 1-0 to Snow Avalanche.
yep, and Taka there, they didn't really start, and I think they kind of just felt like they were running around a lot to start, not really doing too much damage, and I think this is the funny bit about, I think once we get into the late game, this is the funny thing about this comp coming up from both of the teams, is that, well, you won't just see half the people on the map.
Yeah, I think that's the whole point. This is stealthy as you can be. Bastion will try to sneak in behind Artemis Grace here, puts the binding light down, and Artemis Grace is just caught in no man's land, taken out. Snow Avalanche with the 2nd kill of the game very quickly.
That fairy dust, especially if you can stealth up on them, it does so much damage. Like, and it's slow as well. It makes it really easy for Waldemar just to pick up the kill there. And it takes you a little bit of time to get out of it as well, because the radius is quite big. But it does seem to me that Snow Avalanche are the ones with the better start, even though Waldemar just died.
Yeah, Voldemar is known for overextending in lane though, so it doesn't really surprise me too much. Bastion's going to face up against I'm the Doom here. Puts the binding light down, won't catch out that Taka. Kentisik leaving his roam for dust at the moment. Here comes Hell's Devil, going to try and stun up Kentisik. And there is the fairy dust you were talking about, and now Bastion is the target. I'm the Doom trying to take out that flicker. He flicks off at the Halcyon Fold, and here comes the Voldemar trying to re-engage. Okay, Hell's Devil almost taken down. Kentisik looking for the chase onto I'm the Doom, but I'm the Doom turns it around. Kentisik will fall. It's a double for Hell's Devil on the flicker. Artemis Grace should be able to get himself away. Hell's Devil escapes as well. 3 for 3, only 3 minutes in.
Bloodthirsty, and I think we're seeing Flickers initiating all of the fights just because they are using their Will-O-Wisp just to sneak up on their opponents, and well, it's catching their opponent unawares, and they just immediately throw out the fairy dust and then try and get that binding light on. The binding light's not the easiest one to try and land, and it's really good if you do try and chain it with the fairy dust because of the slow that it gives. So that is one combo that we've been seeing a lot of Flickers so far.
Yeah, sorry if my mic was a little bit crackly there. I've had it set on different settings, so should be
I think I'm
sorted by
deaf now.
now.
Thanks, Sona.
If it's not, I'm going to be paying attention and we'll get it. Sound check before we start it up. Now, Snow Avalanche, as you say, 3 for 3, gold even across these 2 teams. I'm very excited to see what happens when we get to that level 6 power spike. Here comes the fight. Hell's Devil low, already taken out. Voldemar almost falls as well. Under Doom, trying to trade in. Voldemar will go down. Artemis Grace needs to try and kite around this fight because Kentisik is still very, very healthy here and will be able to chase on towards that Kestrel. Bastion survives, and it ends up being a 3 for 1 trade.
Well, it's not Avalanche. They are the ones that seem very, very in control of the game so far. And I think Bastion's just doing a really good job of initiating with that flicker. He's using his Will-O-Wisp very well and sneaking up on the Kestrel or the Taka, catching them in the fairy dust. And I think the fairy dust works really well into melee heroes, so it is going really well into the Taka because it does make it very difficult for the Taka to escape. Of course, the Binding Light isn't the easiest to try and land, especially on a Taka who's got incredible mobility even with that slow there.
Have a huge amount of mobility. Voldemar tried to trade into Artemis Grace here. Voldemar will fall. One thing we haven't really talked about is builds yet on these two teams. It looks like actually Bastion's chasing onto Artemis Grace here. Might go in for the kill. Will be able to take him out. Sacrifices his life for it, but takes out the laner. Hell's Devil wasn't able to spot out Bastion going in. And it's an early contraption already on Bastion. Hell's Devil building up towards it as well with that flare gun.
I think that's a good choice, especially the Flicker. So even if you as a Flicker, you are using your Will-O-Wisper, any flares, any scout traps, they can catch you out. And because we've been seeing a lot of Flickers doing that, it's a really important first item to get, just to try and catch them out. Because if you take away the stealth away from the Flicker and the whole team, it takes a large part of their advantage away from them as well.
Oh, definitely. If you can stop them being able to jump in with that ultimate, you know, that AoE ability can definitely catch them out. Voldemar might get caught here and will just fall to Hell's Devil, who melts him away. Hell's Devil hasn't got the contraption yet, as we said. He built himself up a little bit of shielding first, but we'll have it pretty soon. Bastion has to try and defend his turret here. Hell's Devil is just waiting for the opportune moment to jump in with the trap, puts down the fairy dust and takes out the enemy Flicker. Hell's Devil showing who the better Flicker is in this game.
I would still say it's Bastion. He's been doing a really good job so far, but I think because he kind of underestimated the damage that Hell's Devil can do with that fairy dust, he did get a little bit caught out. And I just want to point out Kensick, he's going for that tension bow Taka, not exactly the Stormcrown that we were expecting to see coming out, as we do see. Oh, hang on, Waldemar gets stunned up there.
Yeah, Voldemar's just dead. Artemis Grace takes him out basically in the 1v1. I'm the Doom looking for Kensick. Does have that Storm Guard building up towards an Aftershock as well. Kensick jumps in with the X-Retsu but is losing out this trade. Here comes Bastion with the Fairy Dust. Roots down Hell's Devil. One shot, one kill. Takes out Kensick off towards the backside. I'm the Doom jumping in onto Bastion here with the X-Retsu. One more auto will be enough, and it is. I'm the Doom takes him out. At the moment, Beyond Horizon are showing Snow Avalanche how it's done.
I think I like I'm the Doom's attack a little bit more, just because right now he's going for a little bit more crystal. He's got the Storm Guard as well. It just gives that little bit more burst compared to that tension bow. I think like a little bit more consistent. I know that Storm Guard is a little bit more bursty, but working with the Flicker, when you've got that advantage of stealth, they're having that. Oh, Voldemar!
Voldemar caught out by Artemis Grace. It's just too easy, especially Voldemar, who is known, you know, when he dies a couple of times in lane, he really overextends a lot of the time. Now, Bastion's looking for Artemis Grace, will get caught up in this Fairy Dust. Hell's Devil just chase him away. Artemis Grace is sitting on 2,500 gold, so probably wants to back before he actually gets into any more fights.
Yeah, probably definitely does. He's way ahead now of Waldemar in terms of CS, 60 compared to Waldemar's 40. And that is kind of showing in items because he's picked up his Sword Blade, has the Piercing Spear as well, and also has the Travel Boots. Waldemar doesn't have any tier 3 damage item yet, and that really does show how much he's beginning to be caught because he is 3, 6, and 3 right now, which is, you know, he's 6/7 of his team's deaths, which is quite a bit if you compare it.
It definitely is, and Voldemar's going to die once again. They do get the trade onto Hell's Devil. Bastion now in an awkward situation. Here comes Kensick, but I'm the Doom is in the right place at the right time to stop Kensick being able to chase any further. Let's have a quick look across these items while we have a chance in here. It's contraption on both the Romans first. We don't have a chance because Kensick jumps in. I'm the Doom in with the X-Retsu ace in the one shot, one kill. Not going to connect there from Artemis Grace. We saw the counter one-shot coming out from Voldemar. Now, Voldemar has yet to complete a first item. Solar Blade on Artemis Grace has got that barbed needle as well. I'm the Doom got himself an Aftershock first. Didn't complete his Storm Crown, instead just going for the banner. And Hell's Devil has got himself a contraption building up
Voldemar, what are you doing?
Fountain. Oh, I'm the Doom. Wait, what happened there? I didn't even see it.
Voldemar just walked out, just kept walking, and then walked into them, and they killed him very quickly. That is essentially it. Just way overextending, to be honest. You can see where he died. That's where he got to him before they burst him down.
Well, it's what we were saying a couple of minutes ago, wasn't it, Xinyi? You know, Voldemar is known for overextending into these positions, and especially if he's died a couple of times, doesn't value vision control around his lane.
And Bastion, who's a really good roam, I think he's going to have a tough time with the Flicker, because Flicker's really good for engaging, but in terms of protecting your teammates, unless you have that Moon Cloak, you can slow them, try and root them, but they're not the most consistent items to try and slow them down, or to try and protect your teammates. And Waldemar is suffering so much at the hands of Hell's Devil, who doesn't really have any damage items there, and that's about a third of his health gone.
Is there ever an argument, you know, you're playing Flicker, you're able to get onto the backline pretty easily. Here comes the Mooncloak, Bastion trying to get in. I'm the Doom is waiting off towards the side. Here's Kensick, jumps in, stunned up. and melted off the face of the fold. 16 kills to Ace, 1 shot, 1 kill onto Bastion as well. He needs to try and get himself back underneath the safety of this turret. I was going to say, is there ever an argument for a Flicker in this sort of position to say, okay, yeah, I've got Contraption, I've got myself a Fountain, and now I build a little bit of damage just to supplement my team?
I think so. Going for a Storm Guard would be a really good item. Even the banner, you don't even have to finish the Storm Guard, just in terms of the cooldown that you can get from it and the level of extra damage that it will provide to your Fairy Dust. Because we already know that Fairy Dust has quite a high base damage as well, and the slow is incredibly useful. Oh,
Bastion's going to get caught out here. No escape for him. He does pop down the Fairy Dust, but the final glimmer from Artemis Grace, who has been performing out of his skin on this Kestrel. 10 and 3. Absolutely dominant. Has gone even towards a tension bow, showing just how far ahead Beyond Horizon think they are.
They're doing incredibly well. Artemis Grace, like, if you compare it to Waldemar has not been having the best of games because of the overextending, and Artemis Grace, even though he is against, the same comp with the Taco and the Flicker there, he is being a little bit more cautious. We've seen some good vision being established by Hell's Devil, so he knows when not to overextend. And Hell's Devil, in the position that he is right now, can give him enough warning about where Kentisik or Bastion is. But, this could be another attack.
Yeah, Artemis Grace going onto Voldemort once again, takes him down. Here comes Kentisik and Bastion to try and turn the tides of the fight. Kentisik gets killed and Artemis Grace has himself a double. He's looking for this solo. Ace takes out Bastion as well with the triple, survives. And Artemis Grace is an absolute nightmare here for Snow Avalanche. They're going to take a turret off this and have those Ace buff minions pushing it.
Yeah, I think the thing when you've got a mirror comp like this is that if you lose your lead very early, you really just start snowballing further and further. And even though I think Snow Avalanche, they were the ones that were 3-0 up at the very start of the game, Beyond Horizon really quickly turned that around. And they are, I think, one of the newer teams coming up from the VGL up to Evil 8 there, and they're having an extraordinary time right now.
They are doing an incredible job, but as you say, we will actually see another kill onto Voldemar. Kentisik almost caught out with the final glimmer shot. There is a 1-shot, 1-kill, but Kentisik just survives it with his reflex block. As you say, though, Beyond Horizon, when you have a mirrored composition, or when you have compositions that are very similar to each other, the team that takes the early advantage tends to win, assuming they don't make misplays, just because both the teams are basically identical in this situation. So all that happens is if you have more gold, you're always going to be stronger than the enemy heroes. Now, Kentisik gets caught out. We do see a shutdown onto I'm the Doom, but Hell's Devil and Artemis Grace still doing a good job of pushing this one in. Artemis Grace just tanking up the turret, will get taken out by Voldemar's glimmers, and now he's going to try and turn on to Hell's Devil. Needs a couple more glimmers to be able to chase this Hell's Devil a little bit too quick for him, and just runs his way away.
Yeah, he did have his boots up in a few seconds, but probably decided it wasn't worth to get the kill, or do the chase there. So still a 6k gold difference at 12 minutes. That's pretty significant. And Snow Avalanche, I think if you look at the comps there coming out from them, what we're seeing is in the team fights is that we're seeing I'm the Doom jumping onto Waldemar every single time, but you're not seeing the same thing happening for Kentisik. He's not jumping onto Artemis Grace every single time, and I think the vision control coming out from Beyond Horizon is so good that whenever he does try to engage like that, they just catch him out, and he's the one that's focused down instead. Waldemar.
Voldemar once again goes low, does just survive. Snow Avalanche going to take away this minion mine, and do actually have a little bit of vision in their own jungle. You can see there's a lot of scout traps around here. The problem's always going to be that Beyond Horizon can basically push their scout trap line up to whatever position they want at whatever time they want. They're that far ahead. They might just be waiting for the Kraken. They've only got 2 crystal turrets to get through, but it wouldn't surprise me if they just, wait for that next gold mine, take one more gold mine, and then go with the Kraken. They're going to Mooncloak in, step over a scout trap though, and will be spotted out. Bastion is in that Willow Whisper, so he's invisible in that push. But here comes Artemis Grace onto Voldemar. 1 glimmer's half his HP, and Voldemar just about escapes. Bastion locked up. Here comes I'm the Doom on towards Kentisik. Bastion there as well. Mooncloak's down, trying to get himself away. And Snow Avalanche live to fight another day, but just for the moment, 1-shot, 1-kill doesn't quite take out Kentisik.
So close. In my opinion, when you do lose that choke point tower as a team and you have a Flicker on your side, you really lose a large advantage just for a Flicker. Anyway, hang on.
Hang on indeed, because we're going to see Bastion fall. I'm the Doom does need to get out of this one. Needs to be a little bit careful. Artemis Grace oversteps and gets caught out in the active camo. Here comes Voldemar, chase onto Hell's Devil. Kentisik as well, going for the chase of his own. Binding Light gonna catch them out. I'm the Doom. He thinks he can take out Voldemar in a 1v1, and he definitely can. I'm the Doom. Spells Voldemar's Doom once again. Voldemar's just getting run over here by Beyond Horizon. Kentisik looking for the chase, but I'm the Doom does back himself away and will get out of this one. Oh, Kensick!
No.
Oh, X-Retsu animation goes off, but I'm the Doom had already escaped to base.
Yeah, what a shame that was. And I was also saying before, when you do lose that choke point turret, and you've got a Flicker in your team, there's really not that many bushes that you can use to try and get that Willow Whisper going, because so he just loses a lot of his stealth, and to try and get that going, he needs to put himself in a position that might not always be the safest. So that's what I mean, as a Flicker, when you don't have any bushes to use your heroic perk, then you really struggle to find those engagements unless you use your Mooncloak.
Yeah, and Mooncloak is on quite a long cooldown as well. I think it's about 100 seconds at that first rank. So Bastion actually called out a little bit here by Hell's Devil. Bastion's got to try and get into that bush, but just doesn't have any way out of it and will fall to Hell's Devil, who has as many kills as the enemy laner at this point. You know, it's 5-2-16. Look at Voldemort, it's 5-11-5. Beyond Horizon just snowballing this one out of Avalanche's reach.
It just feels to me that Snow Avalanche, they're being a bit uncoordinated in the way that they're playing, is that they're just kind of... One member is consistently overextending it, the rest of his team's not helping him, and they're just catching them out one by one every single time. I think that's where a large amount of the kills from Beyond Horizon are coming from. And we were talking about Waldemar, he's a bit of an overextender. I think we get to say the same for Artemis Grace, in that he's very aggressive in those team fights and always tends to put himself in positions that are very, very risky. Oh, that's not a steal.
Kraken has been unleashed. Artemis Grace, very risky as you say, will get the counter kill onto Voldemar, and here comes I'm the Doom onto Kentisik, just about surviving. Eventually goes down to the damage coming out from I'm the Doom, and Bastion the final targets. No, Avalanche really have no place to go. They've got the ace buff now for Beyond Horizon, they've got the Kraken pushing in, and surely they've got the game.
I think that there is no chance that Snow Avalanche can do to try and come back from this. With the Kraken, with 2 turrets left, and Hell's Devil, he's so confident, and they're in such a good advantage that he's gone for the aftershock, picking up that damage item, which it really does do a lot, because the cooldown on his Binding Light is very, very low if you do overdrive it as he has, and I think it's a 4-second cooldown. Oh, I'm the Doom.
I'm the Doom jumps in onto Voldemar, won't be able to take him out. Hell's Devil actually might just have to retreat because Kentisik wants a little bit more of the action. 1 shot, 1 kill, almost connects onto Voldemar. Kraken's going to push in here, shouldn't be able to take down the Vein Crystal, but will open up the base here and allow, really, Beyond Horizon the opportunity to always get on to that crystal whenever they want. And they've got triple stealth, so the ability to sneak in behind this could be pretty darn tricksy for Avalanche to catch out.
I think that's a little bit of cockiness coming out from Artemis Grace there when they got the Kraken. He should have followed with the rest of his team, and I think he just thought that they were so far ahead that he could go home. And when his 2 teammates went down, he kind of realized, well, maybe I should have been there, and maybe we could have finished the game. But as it stands, they just have the crystal left, and as you said, all 3 members have that stealth available, and with that Mooncloak, no Scout Trap and no Flare will catch them out when all 3 members are using it.
Who is gonna blink first is the question, because as soon as you blink, the enemy is gonna stealth in behind you. Will Whisper used by Hell's Devil to sneak into that second bush, gonna see what he can do. Look at the amount of Scout Traps in the base!
Oh, they're going in, they're going in!
They're trying to sneak in the move, like they're just gonna go for Voldemar first. Here's Artemis Grace gonna catch them out as well. I'm the Doom is dead, but so is Voldemar. Kentisik now needs to try and help his team out. Artemis Grace still very high on HP. Hell's Devil stepped in on towards Bastion. They'll take him down as well. There are so many darn Scout Traps, but it doesn't matter if you can see Beyond Horizon at the moment. They're still knocking on your base. And Kentisik is the last man standing for Snow Avalanche. Does dodge out the active camo stun. Will walk straight back into the 1-shot. Will kill Kentisik. Takes himself down, and Beyond Horizon will take the stealth game.
Oh, they do, and what a fashion what a way that they did it. 32-14, 7k ahead, and I'm pretty sure that the whole game they were very far ahead in terms of team fights, in terms of objectives. That was a game that they were very much in control of, using the stealth very aggressively, coming out from Hell's Devil to try and take advantage of Voldemar's positioning. I think for the majority of the game, because he was overextending even when they had lost several turrets, he was going out way further than he should have been.
That he was, but an enjoyable game to watch. And if you haven't seen Flicker played, or if you haven't been able to pick him up yourself, remember you can get him for both Ice and Glory in the shop at the moment. He is incredibly fun to watch and to play, so make sure you're picking him up. I'm sure we'll see a lot of him at Worlds. We're going to hand it back across towards our analysts, Action Jackson, Humanist, and Fuji. Take it away, you beautiful gentlemen.
Thank you very much, guys. All right, Beyond Horizon looking pretty good in that first game. Talk to me about them a little bit, actually, because some people might not have tuned into the challenge battles. This is a new team just now making it into the Evil 8 for next season.
This is a pretty talented group. I got to see quite a few of their Challenger Series games, and they ground all the way through. I mean, that's a lot of games, Fuji. You know, it's a lot of games for these teams to play, but they got in there day in, day out. A couple teams taking games off of them, so there were signs of weakness. But this is one of the teams that, like, halfway through the Challenger Series, I was feeling could be an Evil 8 team. Here they are. Artemis Grace, you guys keep your eyes out for his Kestrel. Obviously, this draft kind of favoring them right there. One of the best Kestrels I've actually seen recently. And I'm the Doom. This guy, I've jokingly called him I'm the Broom because like he just shows up to clean up fights like at the perfect time. There'll be like 2 or 3 guys low, his teammates just down, and he's like, I'm here, guys. Don't worry, I got it.
Cleans it up.
So yeah, I mean, pretty exciting little group of guys there.
All right, yeah, that's pretty cool. So Snow Avalanche, on the other hand, we got to talk about them too. This is a fun series. This is All-Stars, right? But they've got their ticket to the World Championships, and I mean, that was not a particularly close game, right? Against the team that just came up to Challenge Series.
They showed that you have to respect Challenger Series teams. Look at the last EU Championship, right?
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, plus if you're new, you know, in Evil 8 from Challenger, you're gonna be trying pretty hard in like every game that you're now on the stage,
right.
like
we
playing your heart out to prove this is where we need to be. Even if it's like an exhibition match, it's an all stealth draft.
Yeah, like we're gonna show you exactly how this.
You
should
saw
be
during
played.
the last push, like even the Kestrel and the Taka just throwing flares out all the way down the lane. Like these, you know, no carries by vision. What is that? You don't have enough money for your offensive items if you buy scouts and flares.
Learn a lesson here, Fuji, from Beyond Horizon. Adjust to the meta. Get with it.
Get with it.
Well, I tell you one thing. These teams are going to struggle to adjust to the meta next game in the series because they're actually doing a reverse draft, which means they're picking each other's teams.
I like it.
I would like you both to craft the worst composition you can think of and share it with us.
There's no such thing as the worst composition, right?
Honestly, yeah. Like we could draft the worst composition, and then we could sit here and break it down and tell you why it would be good.
Yeah. There's always a way to make it work.
Even Ozo?
Even Ozo.
Even though, dude, Ozo is so strong. Let me look into the camera. I wouldn't lie to you guys. This is the time for Ozo, team.
I'm feeling like an Ozo, Ringo, maybe even like toss a little pedal in there.
If you're trying to win, yeah.
Yeah. Slow him down with the Achilles shot. Heal up Ozo when he
You're
jumps
drafting
in.
for your opponent, though. I would give them like a pedal. Give them a Rona and an Alpha.
All right. Well, I'm hearing that Snow has banned Flicker, which I'm assuming means they don't want Flicker to be picked for them.
They don't want to have to think about it.
I guess that's quite strange. Alpha is banned by Beyond Horizon.
That all
would make
stealth
more
game
sense
really-
to me, to be
See,
honest.
I'm all, dude. Beyond Horizon, I'm on their level.
Yeah, they don't want to play the Alpha. They're like, look, keep this away from us.
Yeah.
Honestly, Rona's really strong right now, so.
Yeah, but I mean, there is a phase where she's not that strong, right? Like I think up through the mid game, if you put pressure on the Rona, there's not much she can do in return. And so if you stacked it with like an Alpha, something like that, they're just super weak.
So Avalanche picked Jewel for Beyond Horizon. Beyond Horizon's locked in a Finn, and they're still waiting on their second pick of that rotation. So
I never pick a
Interesting
Finn
stuff
for
so
my
far.
opponent.
yeah, that's bold.
I think you just give the enemy like 3 mages or whatever, just surprise them. Just throw the Scarf, the Celeste, the Samuel,
The Lyra?
the Lyra,
The
whatever.
Lyra
Just
there.
throw them all the mages.
Okay, so they locked in an Arden with that Finn. So they're going for kind of like a super bruisery composition. They've
Somebody,
got a Jewel on
I'm
there.
gonna have to call Bacon real quick. Let him know this is happening.
The weapon power Arden coming through.
Yeah,
Maybe.
that's his thing. That's Bacon's jam. If you guys don't know about it.
Look at that. So Waldemar's like, oh no, they're going to pick 3 melee roams. Let's pick one for them. So he picked the Catherine for Beyond Horizon.
These guys know exactly what they're doing,
Yeah.
don't they?
Wrap up that
And
Finn
Taka.
Arden with
Taka makes sense.
Taka Catherine. Do we know what the first pick was?
Was Jewel. So,
Taka,
I mean,
Catherine Jewel.
that's going to have a tough time getting through tanky things like Finn and Arden, right? Like
Yeah,
Taka,
definitely will.
for
I
sure.
like the Taka pick, like knowing that you're gonna have the Finn Arden.
Beyond picks Koshka as their final pick. So the compositions are Jewel, Catherine, Taka, Finn, Arden, Koshka.
I mean, Jules really good into Arden and Finn, though. So it's really going to be up to Koshka, I guess, to dance around the backside of Jules to really get the damage in.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, actually. Certainly not the kinds of compositions you'd expect to see in a normal game from these teams. So where do we think maybe these different characters are going to be going, right? Like, we've got Finn and Arden on the same team. Is it going to be Arden?
Is it Finn, Arden, Koshka?
Finn, Arden, Koshka.
I think Arden lane,
Arden
Koshka
lane?
jungle. Unless they just want to be silly with it. Do something else.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Koshka doesn't do as well in lane as she did many moons ago because you don't get all of those empowered stacks from the like minion wave that
Did you say many moons ago?
Many moons ago.
I like it.
Yeah. So, yeah, probably better in jungle. That being said, I mean, Jewel, that depends on whether they want to go crystal power or weapon, right? Because if you can feed Jewel
What do we
with a
want to
bunch
see?
of gold, get her some crystal power items in the lane. Otherwise, throw a bunch of weapon on her in the jungle, and she can duel out a lot of different people.
I like to see a little CP Jewel myself. Just have some fun with it.
Is CP Jewel really as effective against the Finn and the Arden as a weapon Jewel, though?
Probably not. I mean, the thing is like by the time you get to late game though, and you've got like a bunch of offensive items and a clockwork and an infusion, like 20-second red buttons. That's pretty.
It can be pretty.
I also don't
heavy
want to be
damage.
getting into like Thunderstrike range against the Finn, like if he's having a halfway
That's
decent
true.
Finn game.
That's true.
But as you said, the damage is probably more consistent.
True.
All right, well, the teams are locking in their picks in a blind pick lobby now that they've done each other's draft. We're onto the loading screen. If you had to make a prediction here, do you think Beyond Horizon is going to take it, or do you think Snow Avalanche has got this?
Snow Avalanche.
I gotta give it to Beyond Horizon, man. The new kids on the block. These guys are
New kids
these
on
guys
the
are
block.
like looking for the win, man. Looking
All right.
to close it out.
All right, well, we are on to the fold, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hand it on over to our shoutcasters one more time. We got Sona and Jingyi.
Thank you very much, men on the analyst desk. It is a pleasure to be able to cast this game for you guys. And it's going to be a very interesting game indeed. Snow Avalanche have the Arden, Koshka, Finn composition, one I see very commonly in my rock-solid solo queue games. And Beyond Horizon have Jewel, Catherine, and Taka to round out their lineup.
Oh, I love it. I think I love the Koshka pick. You know, I think they actually picked reasonably sensible compositions. Like they could have gone way worse, I feel, for each other. They were actually quite nice to each other.
I don't know how you. The thing is, though, the problem with say you can go way worse, in my opinion, is most of Vainglory heroes are actually relatively balanced in their own right. Now, they're not always strong against the meta at the time, but as an individual hero, anyone can be anyone. Perhaps you could say Kestrel is perhaps, inherently stronger than Jewel, but a good Jewel can beat a Kestrel. So I think you can say they could pick worse heroes, but I don't think you could say that they pick worse compositions.
Well, if they picked the triple mage and made them go Celeste support, maybe. Oh, hang on.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a fight. I'm the Doom on the Taka onto this Kentasik. Koshka doing a bit of work. Here's Hell's Devil as well. Bastion tries to bash it and turn it around with the Quibble. Kentasik low. Polite Company comes out. Hell's Devil gets the stun onto the Koshka. I'm the Doom going to try and take out Kentasik, who just about makes it. Hell's Devil survives with a sliver of his life. And Bastion not able to get anything out of this. Kaku in once again from I'm the Doom, looking for this. Going to see if he can trade in towards that bin, but there's a scout trap right behind him. The Quibble comes out, and Bastion lays down the hammer and takes the second kill of the game.
I was slightly surprised that Kentasik died because Koshka going to Taka. Koshkas usually are very dominant in the early game, especially against Taka, and it's quite easy for them to shut them down if they have the correct rotations and get the vision down earlier enough. So it was kind of surprising to me to see that Kentasik was the person to go down. But they managed to win that eventually, and I think they picked up one. So it was 1-for-1 trade, so it wasn't the worst outcome that we have seen. But Koshka, as we said, we all know her really well as a very strong early game hero, and does tend to struggle a little bit in the late game. So going into that Catherine, she's going to have a bit of a tough time once we do get into the later stages.
Possibly going to have a tough time. You never know, though. You never know, because these competitions...
Uh-oh.
You're mocking. Anyway, how's everyone going to go in? I'm the Doom there as well. Bastion low. Here comes Artemis Grace. Can jump in with that rocket leap. Let's see what he can do. Gonna get the damage down onto Kentasik now. We've already seen one member of Snow Avalanche fall. Artemis Grace looking for the long range Thunder Strike. Won't be enough to take out Kentasik, and Beyond Horizon pick up their second kill of the game. Slightly behind on gold, but not too far behind at all.
Nope, they are not. Waldemar's doing a good job of farming against the duel, so a little bit ahead there, but gonna get stunned up. He's probably dead.
He might be able to get away. Vanguard uses the blood for blood, but yeah, no escape for him. Hell's Devil takes the kill. It's pretty strong here for Beyond Horizon. You know, they take a bit of an early lead. Artemis Grace has a bunch of weapon power, so not actually going to be that crystal power duel we were thinking of. It looks like it's just going to be double weapon power coming out here from Beyond Horizon.
Weapon duel's very strong and a little bit more less risky than a crystal duel, because if you get that go for that crit build and your thunder strike, you can do so much damage. Whereas with the crystal duel, if you just jump in with your rocket leap and miss, then you're in a very tough time. But Artemis Grace, are you gonna get away there? Yes, you are.
In all honesty, I would have preferred the crystal duel. Like, we've all had battle royale games where you've had to like just face into a crystal duel, and it's incredibly difficult to do because as soon as she lines you up for a big red button, you're absolutely melted away, and that is on a 25-second cooldown when you get cooldown reduction later on in the game.
Someone's been playing a lot of crystal duel in their battle royale.
I love crystal duel. It's just like, oh, it's just so much fun because you can do it on turrets as well. Like, you double big red button the crystal turrets, and it's just like, okay, you guys thought you could win. Cannot win today. Hell's Devil low. Snow Avalanche looking for the trade. There's the jump in. Look at the damage onto Voldemar, and he will fall. Kendrick jumps in. Artemis Grace taken out by the Quibble. Bastion, the only member of Snow Avalanche yet to pick up a kill, and he's got both of them for his team.
Beyond Horizon, they've got a lot of lockdown. Like, a bit more regular lockdown with the Catherine and the Jewel, so you can get some really nice chains going on there, and you kind of have the same going on with the Koshka and the Finn, but that only is really when Bastion gets to level 8 and when Counter-Strike gets to level 6. And the cooldowns...
You have got Gauntlet as well. Like, you've got Voldemar can lock down.
I guess if you can pull all 3 members into a Gauntlet, then you get that triple stun, or even just 1 or 2 stuns. That's a possibility, absolutely.
It's something you actually... When I first started off playing Vainglory, a lot of people would say, oh, it's really important to make sure you have, you know, double stun or triple stun. And if you just look at Snow Avalanche's composition from I don't know that Arden's aroma, I don't know that Finn's aroma, I don't know that Koshka, you know, isn't really meta at the moment. You look at their composition, you say, they've got a bunch of crystal damage out of the jungle, they've got weapon power out of the lane, they've got 3 stuns, and they have a big frontline tank. It's not the worst composition in the world.
Well, neither of them are the worst. They all have their really strong points. They're all pretty solid in one way or another. I like the lockdown that we're getting from Beyond Horizon, and well, you kind of get the same lockdown as well. They're both quite tank. Well, you would say Snow Avalanche is a little bit more tanky than Beyond Horizon is because you do have the Arden and the Finn, and you kind of do want to build a little bit more health or even just defense on Voldemar, just so he can soak in the frontline damage.
Sorry, have you ever watched Voldemar play? I mean, he's got an oak cart and a bit of armor for himself at the moment, but asking Voldemar to build defense is like asking a chicken to lay golden eggs. It's something that very rarely is going to happen.
Well, I think that's why he does better on ranged heroes than melee heroes, just because he's a bit... I think the range gives him a little bit of that safety net, which didn't really work that well in the last game, to be honest. Oh, big red button.
If that was Crystal, just imagine how much damage he would have done to those minions.
Possibilities.
Oh, he would have at least got an extra CS out of that and wouldn't have to have overextended to get the next one now. Is I'm the Doom going to join the fray? It's deciding against it, really just counter-jungling a lot more than doing anything else at the moment. Hasn't really had the opportunity to show his stuff yet on this Taka, but here he goes. In the midst of all 3 members of Snow Avalanche, jumps onto Kentasik. Voldemar there as well. I don't think he's appreciated how much a weapon Arden can do. I'm the Doom does jump out with the Chitin, but won't be able to survive. And Beyond Horizon, well, that was beyond the fold as Voldemar showed us how much a weapon power Arden can do, especially since, you know, breaking point for melee heroes is stronger than it is for ranged heroes.
Yeah, that was a recent change. Whoa, I thought you would almost stop the teleporting back then, but no such luck. Arden, there was a period where we definitely did see a few more weapon Ardens or carry Ardens. Team Secret definitely tried it out a lot. And there was a time when if you just got a Storm Guard on him, he would do so much damage even as a roam. And I think he still has that potential there, especially in the Blood for Blood, if you can time it correctly. But I don't know how useful Voldemar is to playing that carry Arden.
If only Tasty Bacon was here, he could give us a few tips for how to play a carry Arden. But Beyond Horizon, slightly ahead in this game. I think both teams are kind of working out how they play each portion of the game as it comes, you know? So, like, usually you have an early game strategy, a mid game strategy, and a late game strategy, and you say, this is how we want to play up until 5 minutes, this is how we want to play from 5 to 15, and this is how we want to play after 15 minutes. But both these teams are just a bit like, well, don't really know when we hit our power surges and when we want to go in. At the moment they're going in onto Voldemar, though. Here's the gauntlet. Artemis Grace blocks it out as he runs away. I'm the Doom there in the Kaku as well. Bastion is low on the front line, has to retreat. There is the jump in. Yummy Catnip Frenzy time. Good force accord as well. Artemis Grace locked down, but he can do a huge amount of work here on this duel. The take down one. Kentisik gets one in response, and Snow Avalanche able to get a 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, but we're in the position where Bastion can't really do too much, and the same for Kentisik. And I'm the Doom and Hell's Devil. They're definitely in better states than Snow Avalanche are right now. Kentisik has to go for the tree, and there's you get a little bit of that health and energy back, jumping straight in, but gets stunned.
Kentisik is there once again. I'm the Doom just about surviving. Hell's Devil went for Kentisik, but wasn't able to take him out. Now Bastion is actually trying to decide exactly how he wants to fight this. Doesn't want to go in on towards the Kaku from I'm the Doom. Here comes Artemis Grace, just going to force them back with the Thunder Strike. And it's a very even game, but not a huge amount happening in these skirmishes. Tends to be a 1-for-1 trade or some such. Voldemar low once again. There is the big red button. Not really, doesn't really do much. This, like, I know I keep harping on about it, but you basically negate having the skill. Like, you do, I'm trying to remember exactly how much damage you do with it. If someone gets caught in the entire thing, I think you do about 2,000 when it's max rank if you overdrive it, but I just don't see the point of negating an entire skill.
I mean, you can still use it to pick up kills. It definitely forces people to get out of the way, because even as weapon, you still have enough damage for people to be like, oh, I'm low enough, I need to back out. So that is one potential tool. I guess you can't use it as frivolously as perhaps a Crystal Jewel might, though.
So it does 2,200 damage on a 40-second cooldown at rank 3. Right? Artemis Grace going to get caught out here. Jumps in onto Kentisik. Does almost fall. Good fountain use there by Bastion to keep his Elena alive. They're going to jump back in onto I'm the Doom. Tries to block it out, but just can't keep himself alive through the damage. Artemis Grace, though, doing a lot of work here onto Voldemar. Good double stun onto Hell's Devil and Artemis Grace. And now Hell's Devil is in all kinds of hurt. Has to try and jump away. Will just about escape for another day. Snow Avalanche turn the fight around and get a 2-for-1.
And nice going for Waldemar. I think he had 12 breaking point stacks there at his best. And oh, Hell's Devil might not make it. He's going to make it. And Waldemar, I think, by the pure fact that he wasn't the first one to go down, and that's something we see a lot coming from Waldemar, is that they do tend to focus on him a little bit more. But
oh, Hell's Devil stunned the minion! I mean, I'm the Doom still gets the kill, but Hell's Devil, come on, that's a heroic perk stack that you could have had. Didn't get because you stunned the minion.
Definitely.
But yeah, okay, going back to Jewel, okay, big red button, it has a 460% crystal power ratio. So just build, like, if you build 100 crystal power, you get 4,000 extra damage out of your big red button. It's on a 28 second cooldown. That is 6,000 damage every 28 seconds in an AoE. Like, why do you not just go there?
I think
Crystal,
part of the
man,
reason,
just build crystal.
Part of the reason is Bastion is probably the only person that could get caught in it and won't be able to move out in time, whereas Kentisik and Waldemar, they both have that mobility from the Vanguard and from, I guess, Koshka's innate mobility just to dodge out of it. So even if you do guess it, there's a high chance that they'll be able to get out in time unless you can guarantee that they're stuck in there, perhaps with the Catherine Merciless Pursuit. But other than that, I think Artemis Grace is probably better off going weapon, controversially.
Controversially indeed, Voldemar almost goes down here. Artemis Grace does have that big red button available, gets forced to cord in. There's the quibble. Voldemar low gets taken out by a Thunderstrike coming out from Artemis Grace. And Beyond Horizon maybe trying to look for the first turret of the game. There's the big red button. Gets one big minion for it. 100% worth. There's a quibble onto Hell's Devil. Kentisic's going to jump in. Good rocket leap up by Artemis Grace. Kentisik low, half HP, has to back away. Bastion's still that tanky frontline. He's built a lot of armor and can tank up a lot of Beyond Horizon's damage at the moment. Just no real way for them to break through that thin line. At the moment, it looks perhaps like they are finished with the dive, although they want to jump in once again onto I'm the Doom. Polite Company comes out and Artemis Grace and I'm the Doom will take down Bastion. Here's the Gauntlet. Hell's Devil stunned up by it, but not too worried about getting caught out in that one.
I think Artemis Grace is using his big red button to just kind of taunt you. He's just doing it to farm right now.
Yeah.
You don't want to talk about it?
It just it makes me sad.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Makes me sad. Hell's Devil tries to get the stun onto Voldemar. Voldemar hasn't really built that much tankiness. We talked about it a little bit. He's got an Atlas. Actually, I take it back. I didn't see the Atlas on cooldown. Well done, Voldemar. Gets himself some armor. Still the most deaths in the game. Not in the best of shapes. And there is one thing, though, that Snow Avalanche, because Beyond Horizon have gone double weapon power, they can just build a lot of armor. Wait, like, on hit, I'm the Doom. It's a difficult one to build into anyway. You kind of end up just itemizing down one route anyway when you play into on hit attackers. So they're just stacking a huge amount of armor. You look at it like Bastion has 2 light armors. You've got coated plates already on Kentisik. Voldemar has an Atlas. They are very tanky, and Voldemar just picked himself up a bone saw, so
I'm
it's
not sure
something
why.
you can commonly say on an Ardent.
I think it would work if there was a lot of armor on the side of Beyond Horizon, but currently, as it stands, the only person with armor is Artemis Grace with light armor. So I'm not sure whose armor he's tried to shred through, but Voldemar, oh god, he's gonna go down.
If only that was a Crystal Power Big Red Button, it would have done it. I'm gonna stop talking about it because I know I've harped on about it long enough.
Maybe let's just entertain the idea. If you got a Frostburn and use the Big Red Button, that's a potential.
Here comes the
that's
jump
not a good
in
jump.
from Artemis Grace. Kentisik tries to get the stun off. Will be stunned in response. They're going to jump onto Voldemar. Good quibble in the backline. Voldemar low. Blast Tremor comes out as well. Voldemar just about surviving. Even through the final Thunderstrike. I'm the Doom looking for the flank. Not going to be able to get it off. And Beyond Horizon just not able to crack through this first turret line of Snow Avalanche. They might have the opportunity here. They've got a big minion wave pushing in. Kentisic's going to get jumped on. Blocks it out with the reflex. Forces Hell's Devil and Artemis Grace away. I'm the Doom fighting into Bastion, but just can't melt through that fin yet. And Voldemar is back to join the party.
I think what Joe needs is just some crit. I think that would help a lot. Maybe they'll crack through. Oh, he gets stuck.
Yeah, Voldemar's going to jump in here. He's got 2 whole breaking point stacks, which is absolutely massive at this point. Got 4 of them now trying to trade in. Voldemar uses that reflex block. Here's I'm the Doom. Second reflex comes out, but I'm the Doom takes him down. Artemis Grace still alive on the backline. Force the cords in.
Nice dodge.
Dodges out the quibble. Very good dodge, as you say. Snow Avalanche just not able to capitalize on any of these kills. Kentisik does have the yummy Catnip Frenzy, jumps on towards I'm the Doom, but dodges it with the Chitin and the reflex. I'm the Doom will get taken out eventually. Bastion's still alive with the Polite Company, somehow surviving through it all. Hell's Devil's going to get dived here by Kentisik, just needs one more auto, but it's not going to be enough as Hell's Devil survives. Kentisik has to use the reflex to make sure he doesn't die to the turret. And 10 kills to 7 in, we still don't really have a dominant team in this game.
Yeah, you're right. There's just not that much difference right now. I think partly it's because we're not seeing any team just stacked with damage. I guess Kentisik probably is the one that has the most pure damage if you look at that Shower Glass and the Broken Myth. But even if you look at, let's say, Waldemar, he's got a breaking point and a Bone Soul. That's not exactly offering the most burst damage or the most damage, and it takes a long time. And we can see in those team fights, it takes a good 10 seconds even just to build 4 breaking point stacks. So I think maybe a Sora Blade would have been a bit better for as like a next item. And if you look at Hell's Devil and the Doom, they've gone for very bursty builds, even for Hell's Devil, who is the roam. He's gone for the Aftershock.
I do see that sometimes on the Catherine, though. You know, you get a bunch of damage off your Storm Guard. You can just put a huge amount of hurt down with the Merciless Pursuit as well, because you're going in, you're trying to get that stun down. Now, Artemis Grace is going to join this. Hell's Devil stuns up Voldemar. Here comes I'm the Doom as well. Bastion low, half HP already, has to run away. Snow Avalanche, the ones on the back foot thus far. Here comes Artemis Grace. Blast Tremor to Kentisik. Bastion, take it out. That's the tank line fallen, and now Snow Avalanche are well caught out. I'm the Doom blocks out the gauntlet as he runs back through it. Voldemar trying to do what he can, but just doesn't have the damage, as you say. Very slow build-up with his item choices here. Will get jumped up by the Rocket Leap. There's the X-Retsu as well, and Voldemar taken down under turret. Beyond Horizon, force Kentisik back. Take out Bastion first. Now we'll get the first turret of the game.
Yeah, I think they finally managed to break through, and that was just because they took advantage of the Snow Avalanche. They were very scattered. They managed to poke down both Bastion and Waldemar to fairly low, and they just kind of focused on Bastion there, and just using that Roam's absence, they were able to just take advantage of it, get Waldemar down, and because he doesn't have the damage, it looks like he could be going for Tyrants next, or even that Tornado Trigger. I really hope it's a Tyrants and not that Tornado Trigger. I think a Tyrants would just be better than the Tornado Trigger at this point in time, especially because Hell's Devil does have that Pauldrons now, and because we do know that Catherine is going to be in the range of Waldemar to slow down his attack speed. But it feels like the Snow Avalanche comp, it's not working as well as we'd like it to be. I think if they just tanked up a little bit more, we do see Waldemar getting a lot of tanky items. But if we just saw Waldemar and Bash in the front lining a little bit before letting Kentistic jump in, then maybe they'll have a bit more opportunity like now.
Here we go. Kentisic's going to jump in onto Artemis. Grace has to rocket leap away. The fountain comes down. There's the big red button, connects onto all of Snow Avalanche. Blast Tremor used as well. Kentisik, Bastion, and Voldemar now need to work out how they re-engage the fight. Kentisik wants Artemis Grace, tries to take him down. There's the Force Accord, brings them all in as well, and I'm the Doom has fallen. Hell's Devil caught out as well, and just as you say it, Jinyi, they fight perfectly and take down 2 kills.
It's taken them 18 minutes to do it, but that was exactly what we wanted them to see. We wanted Bastion and Waldemar just to go in straight away and let Kentisik jump in later, so they're not too focused on him, because what we're seeing in the lead up to that was that Kentisik was going down first. They were poking him down very, very low, and they couldn't really get anything from the team fights. But with this one, they look like they're going to get the Kraken, or not. Could be an interesting steal.
Could be an interesting steal indeed. There's the Gauntlet, Kraken down. Very low. It's got about 1/10 of its HP left. Artemis Grace went for the steal, but just isn't going to be able to do it. And there is actually the ace buff coming out as well. Snow Avalanche take the Kraken, and they can start to look to make inroads in towards Beyond Horizon's base. They've not really even done, well, they've done a tiny bit of damage to this turret because of the ace buff minions, but now they have the Kraken to push in as well.
Yeah, hopefully they could get about 3. I think they could potentially get 3 turrets with this push, and especially with them, the Doom and Hell's Devil out. They're not the best at clearing the wave, because no one has that Storm Guard. Oh, hang on.
Hang on, indeed. That's exactly what Beyond Horizon are trying to do. They're trying to hang in to this game. There's the Force Accord. Hell's Devil, the only one caught out, and he will fall. One member of Beyond Horizon is dead. They've got the Kraken pushing in. There's the big red button, just trying to clear that out. Does do a lot of damage even without that crystal power to back it up. Voldemar the target here, but look at what he can do onto Artemis Grace. The quibble comes out, it's a double stun, and Voldemar with 10 stacks on the breaking point absolutely melts through Beyond Horizon. I'm the Doom needs to keep himself alive, but just can't do it as Kentisik cleans him up. And Snow Avalanche will turn the game around. It looks like for a long time Beyond Horizon had this one in the bag. Snow Avalanche say, oh no you don't. They take the Kraken, they'll get 5 turrets off the push, more than the 3 you expected, Jinyi, and they'll take the crystal as well. Snow Avalanche even out the series at 1-1.
Yes, and I guess you can't help wondering how the game would have gone differently had Artemis Grace gone crystal. I don't think there would have been too much difference, to be honest.
I think there would have been. I think they would have won it like years ago. Years ago.
Years.
They would have won it before the game even started. Like what Snow Avalanche would have got in the game and be like, oh no wait, we gave him Crystal Jewel. Okay, surrender.
Absolutely. You know what, let's just stick with that, because I think that's a really nice dream that you have. And
Thanks.
well, yeah, so like you said, Snow Avalanche, they really felt like they weren't doing too much for the first, I guess, 15 minutes of the game, and they had one really good team fight, and from that they just kind of pushed the whole victory just from that one point. And that was just purely by letting Kentisik jump in a little bit later. And because Bastion and Waldemar are so tanky, they've got a lot of tanky items, especially Waldemar, which I'm really happy about. They were able to soak up the damage and let Kentisik just exert his burst damage.
Kentisik did exactly that. They perfectly timed those final team fights. It seemed like they understood eventually how their composition was meant to work and used it to a T. We're going to hand it back across towards our analysts. Now, guys, make sure you stay tuned, because up next,